y'all. Thanks for joining me today. Today's easy supper is going to be meatball stuffed zucchini boats, or you could also do it with yellow squash. And we're also going to make we're also going to make a tomato bake, and it's going to be really good. So we're using lots of fresh veggies that we have from the garden because we got lots of those coming in right now. Lots of good summer veggies, so we're going to use those. Hi, Lisa. Let's see if I can see lots of here. Let me know you're hopping on. Say hi. Love to hear from y'all. Hey. So, yeah. For the tomato bake that we're going to make, you're just going to need some tomatoes and some cheese. This is like a Dubliner mild cheese. It's a Kerrygold. And then you're just going to need a few herbs. So I have thyme and oregano and basil. So I'm just going to use all three of those. Those are like my favorite. But you could also use like an Italian seasoning. You want to do that instead. But I prefer these three. And then you're going to need some almond flour. You could use panko in place of it, but I prefer almond flour. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started on that because it takes just a little bit of time. Hi, Murray. So let's go ahead and get started on the tomato bake first, and then we'll move on. So, oh yeah, turn that back on keyboard. We've got our nice fresh tomato sauce over there. Hi, Jeanette. I'm glad you could get on today. Okay, so we're just going to slice up our tomatoes here. So I got some big tomatoes. We have been working on making our fresh sauce from all the veggies, or from all the tomatoes coming in, and so we've been working on that today. We've got some fresh in the pot that we're actually going to use for our zucchini boats that are so delicious. I love having our homemade sauce, and if you haven't seen it yet, I'm just going to slice these up into big, just kind of thick slices. If you haven't seen it yet, the new post is up on how to make an easy way to make homemade tomato sauce that you can use as just like plain tomato sauce, or you can make spaghetti sauce. And then post 2 will be up in just a few days, and it'll be how you can preserve your sauce. So we'll share a few different ways of preserving if you're looking to do that for the year. The best tomatoes to use for this, I'm just using just like a big tomato that works great for sandwiches. You could use like just any kind of big tomato will work. For the sauce, our favorite tomatoes, and I go into that more in the post too, is Roma tomatoes. They are so good. They're not as watery, and they make for a much thicker sauce, which we love. So that's our favorite for sauce, but really any tomato that you like to eat is delicious here. You could use a stripey, that would be beautiful, or a big yellow tomato if you have it, but this is what we have. So we're going to use these, and I just cut up about 3 big tomatoes. Hi, Jeanette. All right, move this off here. All right. So, to this pan, I'm just going to layer my tomatoes here. So just in an even layer on the bottom. All right. Now that we've got our one layer here, wipe my hands off. So to our layer, then we're going to add some almond flour. And like I said, you could use panko breadcrumbs or any kind of breadcrumbs if you don't have almond flour. I just like to do almond flour. It's lower carb, nutrient dense, and it's gluten free, so if you need that, that's great. It adds a great nuttiness and crispiness here. So just going to sprinkle that on. A good coating of that onto all of the tomatoes here. Okay, then we're going to add our herbs. So like I said, the 3 herbs that I have are basil, oregano, and thyme. And you could certainly do fresh here if you want to do that. I just have dried on hand and it's easy. There we go. And then we're going to add our thyme and our basil as well. We're just going to put that on top. I'm not sure exactly. There are pear tomatoes. Pear tomatoes are actually a different tomato, but both are pretty good for sauce making. So that is a good question, though. All right, there we go. Now we're going to add some cheese. So I'm going to grate up some cheese here, and like I said, I'm just using, this is like a Dubliner, I think it's called. It's a mild aged cheese. It's like a, or no, this is my sharp cheddar, I'm sorry. This is my organic sharp cheddar that I'm using today, but I made this with like a Dubliner. You could do Parmesan, is really good. Any of those will work. Just use whatever you have, really. And so I'm just going to grate that up. I love freshly grated because it doesn't have all the caking agents and it melts beautifully. Alright, so just grate a bit of that up here. Alright, and I'm going to sprinkle that on top. Ooh, these look so good. Alright, and then we're going to do our next layer, and we're basically going to do the same thing. So we're just going to layer these up. Didn't have a full layer, but that's okay. Alright, and now we're going to do, again, we're just going to repeat it. You love sharp cheddar. Yeah, I love sharp cheddar. Good it is for you. Yeah, a really good, lots of calcium and protein and stuff, especially like grass-fed is best, or organic. So love some good grass-fed dairy. Alright. So we're just going to repeat the layers. So there's my almond flour down, and then I'm going to do my herbs. And we'll do one more layer of cheese, and then we're going to get this in the oven, oops, and let it bake while we do the rest of our main dish here. Alright, so there's that, and then I'm going to grate up a little more cheese, and we'll be ready to pop this in the oven. This is also really good, and make a dish kind of like this with zucchini and squash, and it's really good too. Really great side as well. So you could also do that. There's another option for you. Alright. There we go. So our last layer of cheese here. Scrape up all those little bits. Alright, now we're going to put this in the oven. We're just going to kind of watch it till everything gets nice and melted and kind of bubbly and crispy, high wilt. So I'm going to put this in here. Scoot my zucchini over. I have some in there already cooking for us, just so speeds the process along, because this isn't a hard dish, but it does take a little bit of time to bake in the oven. So, all right. Let's clean up this cutting board and then start to work on our main dish. Hi, Connie. All right. So, for this, you're going to need zucchini or squash, or you can do both like I'm doing because I didn't have enough of one. I didn't have enough of one, so I have some zucchini and I have some yellow squash here, so that's just what I've got, and I'm going to use both. The zucchini is my favorite, I have to say, for really anything. I prefer zucchini, but yellow squash is good and works fine here too, so you can use what you like. Oh, thanks, Wilk. Yeah, this apron today that I'm wearing, Nana got that for me, so thank you. Alright, now, I've already prepped these. I've just cut like the ends off and cut them in half lengthwise. Scoop these over, and then we're going to scoop them out. So, we're going to hollow them out and make like a boat to stuff. So, let's grab a spoon here, and you can just do this with a regular spoon. This is actually a grapefruit spoon though, and it has the little teeth, so it'll actually make it even easier. And just kind of where the seeds are, just kind of the middle, leave a little space on your edge there, and just scoop all that out and kind of hollow it out here. And this is where we're going to stuff our yummy meatball and cheesy goodness. It's so good. Zucchini can be used in so many things. You're right. It's so good, and it really takes on the flavor of whatever you want to do with it. So there's tons of options. I love zucchini. It's definitely one of my favorites. Definitely my favorite over squash. But squash is really good too. So I'm just going to scrape that out, scrape out the seeds, hollow it out a bit, again, so we can have a nice little divot here. Nice little place for all of our yumminess that's going to go in the middle. See? Alright, and we're just going to repeat that for all of them. So, and you could really do this. You could put so many different toppings and stuff in here. There are tons of options, but this one is so good. You probably could use eggplant for this. Actually, that would actually be really good. It would kind of be like almost like it would be delicious because it's got that nice marinara or spaghetti sauce and meatballs, so it would be great. Eggplant goes great in Italian dishes. So I'm just going to finish scraping these out here. And there we go. So we're just going to finish doing that. And I'm going to cook these actually in an iron skillet. It's really easy. And I'm going to go ahead I'm going to pull that out for a minute. Let it sit right there until we're ready. Hi, Sue. Until we're ready to use it. And so I'm going to go ahead and scoop the rest of mine out. Then we'll get ready to stuff these. And these are going to use in the stuffing. We're going to use, I don't save the seeds. We just never do. But you could. Alright, scoop it out. Again. And we're going to stuff these with the meatballs that we made a couple of weeks ago, if y'all remember that. Hi, Dawn. Thanks. Oh, thank you so much for sharing. We are making meatball stuffed zucchini and squash boats and like a cheesy tomato bake that's already in the oven. We put some almond flour, some herbs, and some cheese on tomatoes and baked it all in the oven. It's really good. Alright, now we're scooping out our squash for our zucchini boats, or our squash boats, whichever one you're using. Either works great here. And then we're going to stuff them. Yeah, so if you all would please share, I would love it if you all would share it. I appreciate it, so you can help others find the video. Not in this dish, no, but if you were going to make a stir fry or something, you could use the flesh part for a stir fry. In this though, I just stuff it with my meatballs and sauce. You could also, use the flesh like in zucchini bread or squash bread or something like that. That would be lovely. Alright. Almost done here. We got one more big one to go. And actually, I'm going to save that one for later. Go ahead and just do these. Alright. So, let's bring this over here. And in the pan, we're going to add those in there. Add those in, and then we're going to start stuffing them. And yeah, you could do those things with the scraps. We give these to the chickens. They're really happy with the scraps, so they always love it when we make any kind of vegetables. They get all the yummy scraps and are super happy about it. Where did we get the zucchini? I think the zucchini came from the farmer's market, I believe. So I think that's where those came from, and some of the squash came from our garden, and some of them came from the farmer's market as well. Alright, so now we're going to, let's actually check on our stuff in the oven. That looks so good. Alright, so let's go ahead and get these. Back here in my Instant Pot, like I said earlier, we've been working on our tomato sauce for days because we make our own tomato sauce and can it and freeze it for the winter to use, and it's so good. So I just got done with a fresh batch of it just earlier, so I'm going to grab some of that out to use for our zucchini boat. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me bring you over here so you can kind of see that. Okay. So I'm going to just get some sauce here. Our homemade sauce, I love it. And like I said, if you want to learn how to make it, the new post just went up on the blog right before this video went live. So go check it out when you're done with this video. It is delicious, so easy to make, and it's just delicious. This is our spaghetti sauce. You can make it plain tomato sauce, and I go into detail about that in the post, whether you want to make it like flavored or just plain. This one is like our garlic and herb one, so it has garlic and it has thyme, oregano, and basil and all that kind of good stuff in there. But you can just use plain if you want. If you don't want to make your own, obviously I would recommend using like a store-bought spaghetti sauce. I love the Aldi organic one. It has no added sugar. Whoa, the camera's cooking. Tastes really good. They have a tomato basil one, and it has really good flavor. So if you're going to do a store-bought one, I would get spaghetti sauce instead of like a plain tomato sauce because there's not any flavor added. Oh yes, we love garlic. We put a lot of garlic into our tomato sauce for sure. It tastes amazing. Alright, so in the bottom of our boats here, this camera is crooked and it is bugging me. Okay, I think we'll get it straight here. That's really bothering me, but it's alright. So in the bottom of my boat, just gonna scoop some sauce in there. Really easy. There's our Instant Pot with our rice in it that we're gonna eat with this. Going off over there. Alright. Put that in there. And now I'm going to put in the meatballs. So these are the meatballs that I made a couple weeks ago. If y'all remember, I made them on a Facebook Live and we did meatball subs. I made them up. That one needs a little more sauce. I don't know why I didn't put more. We made them up and put them in the freezer. And so today, earlier this morning, I just pulled out the meatballs and let them thaw. And when they got thawed, I went ahead and added them into the just put them in the fridge, and now I'm going to add them in here. So I stuffed them all with meatballs. What type of meat? This is just my meatballs, like I said, that I made. And it's meatballs made with, hi Michaela. No, these meatballs are made with some, I used grass-fed ground beef and some mild pork sausage that we got at our local butcher shop. So, but I do have a recipe for turkey meatballs, actually, that is already on the blog. And so if you wanted to do that, you could totally do that. just without the cream sauce. Just make the meatballs as is. They have some spinach in them, and then made with ground turkey, and they're really delicious. They will be good in here as well. So I'll link both of those recipes, and y'all can pick which one you want to do. And then I just top them with a little more sauce on top of the meatballs when I'm done. There we go. And I'm going to put a little bit of water in the pan just so the bottom of the pan doesn't burn. And I'm going to put them in the oven. You want to just do it just until they're tender. And I have my oven at 400 degrees just till everything's tender. And a few minutes before we're done, we're going to pull them out and top them with cheese. So I already have some over here that we're going to top with cheese and put back in the oven here. So you could top these with Parmesan. That would be delicious. Hi Gavin. You can top this with Parmesan. You could top it with white cheddar. You could top it with like a devilinger like I said before. Today I have some organic provolone slices, and so I'm going to top those. Provolone is a really melty cheese. Really love it. And it's delicious for this kind of recipe. So that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do half for these smaller ones, and that'll work out perfect. And that needs a little more water in the pan here. And we're just going to put these back in just for just a few more minutes, just until the cheese is melted, because these are already done. So let's check on this here. Ooh, look at that. That looks so good. I'm going to give it just a few more minutes. So pull those out. I'll put those back in a minute. And we're going to pop these in to let them melt. Alright, so now we're just letting them melt. That's all there is to it, really. We're just waiting for the cheese to melt, and our tomato bake is really almost done. Just waiting for it to let the cheese get just a little bit more brown. Things get just a little crispy, but it looks really good. So, let me know. I hope y'all are having a good day. Let me know what you've been up to, what you're having for supper. I would love to hear from y'all. And yeah, so let me know. And as always, if you would have suggestions, please tell them to me. Let me know so I can get to them and make what y'all want to see. So it will be ready in just a few minutes. But be sure to go check out the post for that. And again, I'll link all the meatball posts and all those kind of things below, or in this post later when I'm done, so that you all can see them. Oh, thank you. Okay, I think our tomatoes are done. Our tomato bake is done, and then our zucchini will be done in just a minute. Look at that. It's so delicious. Golden brown. Cheese is getting brown. The almond flour and stuff on there is getting nice and crispy. Oh, it looks amazing. So yummy. Alright. Look at that. That is such a great way to use some fresh tomatoes when you're getting them either from the farmer's market or your garden. Oh, well, that sounds fun. Well, like a good visit. That's always nice to visit with your family. All right. So let's go ahead and get us a plate so we can get this plated up and then get our zucchini boat when it's done. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and dig into this. Look at that. Cheese, melty, crispiness. Looks so good. Oh, look at that. That looks amazing. Let's check on our zucchini boats here. Here we go. Yes, those look so good. Look at that. The cheese got so melted. So melty and delicious. There we go. Alright, let's get one of those out. Oh yes, that provolone just got really melty. Beautiful, beautiful. Alright, let's give this a try because it looks so good. Alright. Alright, it looks really good. Let's try this tomato first. Oh, it looks so hot. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, this is really hot. It just came out of the oven. Super hot, but it looks so good. Mmm. Delicious. Tomatoes are nice and tender, but love the crispy topping and the cheese. Really good. Now, let's cut into this zucchini boat with meatballs. See a close-up? Okay, I'll try to get you guys a close-up. Hang on just a second. Let's go ahead and try this. Yes, it is. Look, it's so good. Made with lots of fresh ingredients. Alright, let me get a smaller bite because it is really hot. Ooh. That meatball and that sauce. Mmm. So good. The zucchini, it's nice and tender, but adds a great freshness, and oh, the cheese melted over the top. It's lovely, and the sauce tastes amazing. It's so good. You guys should definitely try it. Okay, somebody want a close-up, so let's get a close-up here. Alright, there's the beautiful tomato bake that we have. Whoa. And there is the zucchini boat topped with really great cheese and sauce. So good. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope y'all try it. And if you give it a try, please let me know. I would love to see pictures, love to know what you think. Substitute for the meatballs for vegans or vegetarians. You could do so many things. You could do lots of different veggies. You could do rice or cauliflower rice. You could chop up your zucchini and squash flesh and chop it up and put it in there, flavor it up a little bit. Peppers, onions, just do lots of different veggies and stir fry them. Put them right in there. It would be delicious. Okay. Jeanette. Uh-oh. I don't know what's